Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. Well, actually it's been maybe like 13 minutes late for a proper New Year hello and whatnot, but you know what, better late than never. So, I have some good news. I managed to have some time to do a deck profile video for you to do this week. And it was kind of a bit of a bitch, a little bit, to a certain degree. Where the bloody hell did that go? Hold up. Okay. Where's it? Okay. So I am a little unprepared with this, but, you know, I'm very sorry. But in today's video, we're actually going to be introducing to you guys the 2 new ride lines for this week. So we have a total of 4 new ride lines for you and the owners to go with them. Except for one, which is Flagbird, because that's confirmed to be an unconfirmed user. However, we do have 3 out of 4 that have users. And for this week, we're going to be doing the leader, then the second in command, and then the little brat, and just the solo navy artist, I guess you could say. Now, keep in mind, you guys, these decks right here are still in their testing phases and are also in the current build at the moment. So everyone can have their personal opinion about it one way or another and whatnot. But to make up to the late response to Happy New Year's and whatnot, and you know, happy go fucking lucky kind of thing, I decided to give my deck profiles and the best thoughts and ideas to the best of my abilities I can do. After all, there's still a few decks that are not completely upgraded yet to its full potential, but, you know, every new deck needs to start from the very bottom, such as Planet Power. And if there's anything I kind of realized by myself, by my decks, is I do give out references to Sailor Moon a lot, which is basically, the transformation abilities, the powers, and whatnot, such as Planet Power, Star Power, Crystal Power, and Eternal Power. And so far. Okay, I got some of that stuff done a little bit. So, without any further ado, let's get on with the deck profile video. So, starting with the deck, we have Steel Blaze Dragon Arhinsa. Just your typical grade 0 starter, starting Vanguard. Then we also have the secondary one, which is Steel Blaze Dragon Namorkahr. When Namorkahr is placed on Vanguard Circle, oh wait. Okay, so that's where kind of happens. I forget the Soul Blast ability sometimes. So you basically do a Soul Blast 1, and then you search your deck for either Swayanbuh, Seal Blaze Shield, Swayanbuh, or Steel Blaze Sword Pertivith. I guess you gotta say it. I will probably butcher half these names, so I'm very sorry about that, but yeah. Next, we're playing, for grade 2, we're playing Steel Blaze Dragon Halibadra. Halibadra's skill is, when it's placed on Vanguard Circle by writing on top of Namorkahr, you can add 1 arm card from your graveyard back to your hand. And then finally, we're playing the main bitch herself, Steel Blaze Maiden, Bavsargra. Bavsargra has hit the spotlight already in her first debut on the meta set. I think in Japan she's topping a little bit, so she's a very strong deck on her own. Even without the new support coming out from set 4, this deck is still liable to play, and it's not actually bad. So her skill is it's an active skill, and there's also a auto skill. So, on an auto skill is, anytime Bavsargra gets armed, you Soul Blast 1 and you superior call a grade 1 or less card from your drop zone to rear guard. Then, on active skill, if you have 2 or more cards that are armed, you Soul Blast 2 cards and she gets +1 critical at the end of that turn. So, oh, and the best part is, she gets to retire your opponent's front row rear guards. So yeah, that alone is amazing. And the owner of this deck, of course, is Team Daybreak's leader, Minae. The little sister of Donji also has a different name, by the way, but we're not going to pronounce that here because the names are kind of dreadful and kind of a bit of a bitch to really without getting tongue-tied. That's just one of the things my per se would have to say. Shoot. I know I could be a little bit more prepared about this, you guys. Sorry about that. I've just never had time to actually put these decks more properly in place because of been working a lot and been playtesting a lot and trying to get these decks up and running on top as usual. And it wouldn't be my deck profile if I didn't do anything longer than I should. So, yeah, that's my severe apology. But for triggered lineup, we are doing 4 heals, 8 crits, 3 fronts, and 1 overtrigger. So, to make the theme more plausible to Blaze Maidens, I'm playing 4 copies of Blaze Maiden Rona, 4 copies of Blaze Maiden Zonne, and then introducing the new power that we recently received from set 3, 4 copies of Burning Flail Dragon, which is has a rear guard ability. Is when this unit is boosting at the end of the battle, this unit boosts a rear guard. You put this in your soul and you transfer 2,000 power to any unit on the field, including Halibadra, Bavsargra, or Ursula, whatever. Yeah. So I changed my deck up a little bit to make it more like crit heavy a little bit, rather than, more fronts. But, that doesn't mean we're stopping playing fronts, because that should be ridiculous. Speaking of fronts, we're playing 3 copies of Blaze Maiden Paramas. Like I said, it's all in the Blaze Maiden theme to it, just because Nirvana cannot be the only one deck that has used Blaze Maidens, so that would be kind of a little unfair. And then finally, of course, we're playing 1 Dragveda, just for the overtrigger and for shits and giggles. So, yes. I wouldn't say this is not a bad deck. I've been playing it for, ever since it first came out. Finally, it came here in America. So, I was happy about that. Now, let me get me some time to really put these all in order. Okay. Okay, so now in this deck, we are playing a lot more grade 1s than we do usually, and a lot more grade 3 plays. So, grade 2s are not essential at the moment, but grade 1s and 3 plays, yeah, that's kind of how it is. So, we're playing 3 copies of Namorkahrs, 4 copies of Dragritter Shihab. Shihab's skill is, when it's placed on rearguard circle, it gets plus 5,000 power in a turn. When you would ride from your right deck, you can ride with, put this into your soul instead of choose a card from your hand and discard it. So before you do a ride deck play, you can actually put this card in your soul, or instead of discarding it, rather than, and I think that's just a regular ability. So it's continuous. But it's also nice to have a little bit more pressure to your deck as well. So 5k on top of 8k, that's a 13k base all by itself, even for a rear guard. So your opponent's going to have a little bit more pressure on him, or tell him more to guard with, if he wants to keep his damage out in check. And of course, we're playing 4 copies of Stealth Dragon Togachirashi, or what the fuck you want to call that. This card right here is an essential for one good reason. Anytime you pay the cost for discarding a card from your hand, you can put this card into your soul. So since the deck is all about soul blasting a lot, this makes a lot more sense to me in my eyes. So that's why Shihab and Togachirashi are usually the good choice of options for soul play, pretty much. Especially when you're activating Bavsargra's skill to soul blast 2 cards and give plus 1 critical to Bavsargra, and on top of Pativia's ability. And of course, it wouldn't be a Dragon Empire deck if it would be Twin Bucker Draglin. So we're playing 4 complete guards, a twin buckler dragon. So, yeah, so right now, from what it looks like, we're playing 15 grade 1s at the moment, which is not a bad number. They're meant for boosting, they're meant for extra attacking, and extra skill from Bavsargra's skill. You know, nothing bad happening there. Next, for grade 2s, we're just playing 3 copies of Steel Blaze Dragon and Halibadra. This is all the grade 2s we have at the moment have access to. Until we get Shiachi and the stuff from set 4. So, at the very moment, we're only playing 3 copies of Halibadra, and that's all the grade 2s we have in this deck. You all can be very entitled to your opinion, but this is just how I prefer to play it at the very moment, and it's been very good so far. Next, for grade 3s, we're playing 3 copies of the Grand High Bitch herself, 3 Steel Blaze Maiden Bavsargras, for the not only persona run ability, but also filling up the soul more. Next, we have 2 copies of Steel Blaze Dragon's Ulsalra. I would call it Ursula. Everyone was making a big joke about this card being like Ursula's new main form after she passed away from Prince Eric's attack on Little Mermaid. So this is her new true form, apparently. But anyways, this skill of Ursula, when she's placed on a rearguard circle, you get an arm card back from your drop zone, back to your hand. So, that's just pretty much good, considering that if you want to play Prativith, then Swayanbuh, then that's why she's in here. Speaking of Prativith, we're playing 4 copies of Steel Blaze Sword Prativith. Everyone said this is the best arm card she's got, for a few reasons. So, the cost of it is a Soul Blast. But when Bavsargra attacks, she's been granted 10,000 power for that battle only. And if your opponent has less than 3 or less damage or 4 or less damage, you can counterblast to send Prativith to the graveyard, and you deal 1 damage to your opponent instantly. So, I think that's kind of why this helps you burn more fuel and burns damage like crazy. But in case that kind of backs up, you also have this card too. 3 copies of Steel Blaze Shield Swayanbuh. Swayanbuh's ability is, by paying the cost of counterblasting 1 card, you can play it. You can equip it to Bavsargra. And its skill is, when Bavsargra gets attacked by your opponent's Vanguard, she receives an additional 10,000 power to her attack, making her a 23k attacker, and all you need is either Parama, Rona, or Zonne to guard with the attack, or a complete guard if you really want to be that petty. But that's just me, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, you guys, that is the conclusion of this week's new deck profile, Dragon Empire deck profile of the Steel Blaze Maiden Bavsargra. Let me see if we get this more appropriate here. Okay, there we go. So anyways, you guys, that is the conclusion of the deck profile video. I hope you guys do enjoy this video very much. I put in a lot of effort to find ways and find the builds, and believe me, money was a bitch to get, because some of these cards were very expensive at the time, and the deck itself was like around $5 maybe each per se, and I ordered 4 of them because I want to haul out Bavsargra. I have the common versions of Bavsargra, but I want to haul them out because I'm a rarity whore. There you go. But yeah, guys, this is the beginning debut to Bavsargra. I hope she does very well in her line, and I'm glad to see that Mirei finally seen the light after her past mistakes, and realizing she's meant to have friends, she's meant to have a good life, she's not meant to be happy by someone else's choice. She is now her own person, her own woman, and I give her props for that. Anyways, you guys, this is Siren Frost signing out, and remember, stay tuned for my second deck profile. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.